42, and today I am thinking a lot about our relationships, what's new, and I just had one of my daughters come to stay with us for a week, so I'm feeling very soft and sort of nurturing, and it'll be interesting to see how this week goes, because there was so much excitement that I felt in my body as I expected her arrival, and I also understood that I need to be very aware of the present moment and not to attach too much of my memory of her as a little girl to the person who she is today, because she's so much bigger than what I remember her to be. She's a grown-up now and has lived on her own for a while, and so I'm very, very careful not to put her in a box, and following up on the several last days and my conversations about my mother and what's happening between us now, and what is it exactly that I want from her. I noticed that the anger is receding. There isn't so much anger anymore, and I'm just finally gaining the distance, and I am able to detach a little bit from the situation so I can think more calmly and more as the grown-up that I am, the 56-year-old, rather than the little girl, the inner child that's been just so capricious and so temper tantrumy these last several days, demanding that my mommy is exactly what I need her to be, because she's who she is. So just, that the continuation, that sort of flow of life from me being the daughter to my mother and at the same time being the mother to my daughter is such a big deal. It makes everything so much clearer. And I understand also that so much of my suffering, so much of my inability to stop being angry with my mom is because she's my mom, and she's supposed to love me unconditionally. And I think actually what I realized today when I was writing in my journal all morning is she probably does love me unconditionally, because she doesn't really understand who I am anymore. She doesn't really understand what it is that I want from her. She doesn't really understand what I'm breathing and what I'm thinking these days. Yet she, contrary to my father, for example, who just, couldn't handle the feelings and decided to just stop communicating, she actually still tries. She still tries to communicate, no matter how complicated and how difficult it is. So when I realized that a lot of our suffering in relationships is because there is an inner child need to be seen, to be understood, and we're putting people in boxes of our demands of who we need them to be. And if they're not, we cannot play. We don't want to play. And I've been, sort of shutting my mom out these last several weeks because I'm just so sick of her, And at the same time, this morning when I tried to understand, well, what exactly am I sick of? What do I need from her today? And the person who I am today, I really don't need anything from her because I am giving it all to myself now. The whatever understanding I needed from her, the whatever need to be seen that I wanted from her, I'm not going to get it anywhere out there. It's back to my own relationship with myself and me being here for myself. And me being here for myself is extremely important for all of my relationships, because me being here for myself also allows my daughter to be who she is and to do what she needs to do and what she wants to do. Like, I want to free people from owing something to me. I want to free people from owning, love or being with me or protecting me from truth of how they feel, or that's where I'm coming to. That's what I'm coming to today, is that I want to free people from needing to be anything for me, so that I can be comfortable. Just like I want to be freed from any demands by other people to be anything other than I am, than who I am. And having said that, I anticipate that some of you may say, yeah, but then, aren't we supposed to be in relationships, and shouldn't we do things for each other? And I realize that the only way this can be sustainable, the doing things for each other, is if we're motivated from within, if it's not an obligation, if it's driven from, I'm overflowing with love, I love these people, or I'm driven by a strong belief and value that this is how I want the world to be, and so I'm going to invest my energy, whether financial resources or time resources, onto this project or to this person. Self-interest, enlightened self-interest, is what ultimately I feel makes it sustainable to care for other people. When we do it not for them and not out of obligation, but because we want to, because we're overflowing with the desire and the belief that it must be so, and because we're overflowing with love to these people and we want to be there for them and we want to do things for them. But as soon as it becomes an obligation, it's not sustainable, and it's going to long-term create resentment. And I no longer want anyone to be in resentment of me because they're doing something they don't want to do, because they're driven by some kind of obligation or an idea that family is supposed to be like this, or sisters are supposed to be like this, or mothers are supposed to be like this. And I realized today that I've actually been putting my mom into a box, and I needed her to be something more than who she is, or different than who she is. And once again, can I love her for her, not for who she is being to me, but can I love her for her, with compassion and understanding? Can I give her what I'm demanding from her toward me? I'm demanding compassion and understanding and acceptance just the way I am, and yet I catch myself not being that to my mother, and anyone else for that matter, my husband, all the other people in my life. I am the source of my own well-being. So if that's the truth, can I free other people from that impossible task? That's the point, that's the point of everything that I'm doing, is that so much of our suffering in relationships is self-imposed, because we're attached to ideas of how things should be, or images of what things should look like, or ideas, illusions of how things should feel. And the only is how we're feeling in the moment, what we're experiencing in the moment now. So can we free ourselves? Can I free my well-being, my happiness, my capacity to enjoy this present moment? Can I free other people from the need to be anything other than who they already are so that I can be happy? It's a lot of processing. I'm catching myself, it's easy to proclaim these ideas, and then it's so much harder to actually live that. But this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, and it's not easy. It's easier to demand from other people that they behave according to my enlightened ideas, and it's so much harder to actually be that, to actually live according to my own high, ideas, and keeping myself accountable and keeping myself honest, and freeing everyone in my life, including my mom and my children and my husband, from having to be anything other than who they are, and understand what is it within me that keeps me away from my happiness. What is it that I need to give myself still that I demand from other people? Where am I not showing up for myself in a way where I feel fully seen and understood? Where am I holding other people in relationships with me hostage because I need them to be a certain